Hello, welcome to the program. My name is Dr. Bradley. Today we have so many things to talk about. And with me, I am with Sila. We're going to talk about a wonderful topic. And this time we're looking at a subject called parenting and co-parenting. Okay, that's what we're looking at today. Sila, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, Sila will be asking me questions. She has lots of questions to ask me. And by the grace of God, I believe that I have the capacity to respond to the questions. You know, God has given us knowledge to know and to teach. So I'll be more than able to respond to questions that she asked me. Sila, what's the first question that you have for me?
Oh, well, quite a lot of questions. Not sure where to pick, but anyway, let's start with surprise questions that children ask. Children ask questions like, how did the baby get in your stomach? So maybe let's start from there, because children ask, your stomach is big. How did I get in the stomach? How did I come out from the stomach? So how do we respond to such questions?
That's a very good question. So kids ask questions like that. How do you get a baby in the stomach, right?
Yes.
Where do you find babies?
Yes.
So in those days, parents would lie to us and say, we buy children. Okay, we're going to buy a baby. Okay. So the question is, should you lie to your child or should you speak the truth? Now, when your child starts to reason, you shouldn't lie to that child. Because at the age of 5 and 6 and 7, your children at that time will start reasoning. The reason for questions is because they already know the answer. They know you have a baby inside. Okay? And then they come and ask you. You see that? Maybe they have seen it before with the neighbor or the teacher at school who had a big tummy. And then, they didn't ask the teacher though, but the next thing they saw, the teacher had the baby. But now they know the answer. This is a 7-year-old boy, he knows the answer, that woman was pregnant.
But he just wants to confirm.
But he wants to ask what happens there.
Okay.
Now, what we try as parents to avoid is the sexual part.
Yes.
Okay? Now, kids don't ask about that. What they're asking is how the baby got there. Or how is it that the baby's there?
Yes, because they wonder.
So the best thing to say to a child is that God gave me a baby. So like I said, the best way to answer a child is to tell the child the truth, that God gave me your baby brother, and your baby brother is here, or your baby sister, okay, and the baby sister is here. That's all you have to say to a child. Don't be scared to answer any more questions coming.
Okay, that's very good information right there.
Yeah.
And because these are questions that children usually ask their parents.
Absolutely.
And this is because of the exposure that
Absolutely.
they have.
Absolutely.
You know, children are exposed to
So many
much
things.
information. Okay, so now let's talk about control of our kids. How much control do we have on our kids, or how much control should we have on our kids in terms of what they're watching and whom they are playing with? Let's talk about that.
Okay. How much control should you have on your child based on who she's playing with, the friends, the neighbors, what they watch on television, on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, and also the age. At what age should a child be exposed to these things?
Yes.
Okay? Now, there is a part of raising a good child. Understand this part. Raising a good child, or just raising any other child. You can raise just kids because they're kids, because you're too busy, you're just raising kids. There are others who choose to raise good children. They want this child to be a good child. So they have a plan. They set out a plan. Say, I want to raise my daughter like this. I have a daughter, okay? So I remember when she was 6 years old, I set a plan. At 6, I want her to learn this. You see that? At 7 years, I want her to learn this. And I am always conscious to see if she's learning those things I wish for her.
Okay.
So I can see her response. She's responding back to me that she's actually learning and no one can lie to her.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to raise a good child. Why? I am also conscious that the world out there is bad. I'm conscious that so many people out there can teach your children, can say things to your children, can advise your children, can influence your children. Not only elderly people, fellow kids. You understand? Fellow kids can say stuff to your children. Fellow kids.
That is true.
Yeah. And you see, kids believe each other a lot than they believe adults.
Mm-hmm.
Because the relationship between you and your child is not always connected. But between your child and the siblings or friends, it's always there.
All right. So this leads to the next question. So my next question is children and attention. How much attention should we give our children? Because there are many times where a child will be talking to you and you're busy and they want your attention and they're trying to tell you something important.
And they'll forget.
And they'll forget. When you sit down and say, what is it that you wanted to say to me? They say, it's okay. Because you didn't want to listen.
Exactly.
So how much time should we give to our children and what should we give the attention to the children too?
How much attention? You see, everybody needs attention. Everybody. Okay? And like I said, when kids start to reason, they can tell that you're not giving them attention. Many of you have seen your kids say, Mommy, it's okay. Mommy, it's okay. It's okay. You said, but you called me. No, it's okay. Because now your kid is frustrated by you. When a child is trying to tell you something or because of what happened, maybe the maid did something, and she's trying to tell you before the maid gets closer. You hear me? Mm-hmm. She's trying to tell you before the maid gets closer. You are busy doing other things and the maid gets there. And you're telling, oh, tell me. And the child goes like, Mommy, it's fine.
So we should give attention to our children
Immediately. Okay. A child is telling you, I'm pressed, I want to pee. And you are talking with somebody, something very important. Respect the kid. Tell the person you're talking to, excuse me. Yes, honey, what can I do for you? You will hear the child will say, I want to use the toilet. So of course, let's go.
What about...
have you seen that?
Yes. What about when children just want to seek your attention? How do you differentiate between
these two things? Yes. Children, they seek attention. A lot of times they do. Okay? But look, they cannot hurt you if they seek attention. They want your attention. It's love they seek. And you must give it. Okay? You cannot say that she wants to talk about something childish. I don't want to do that. No, you can't say that. She won't hurt you. She loves you. She wants your attention. She wants your smile. She wants just to be there with you. Give it to her because you owe it to your child.
All right. Okay, so the next question is...
No, what happens when you don't give them attention?
Yes.
So what happens? If you don't give your child attention, that love will reduce. Trust will reduce. Your child will stop trusting that you are available.
I see. And
okay?
they'll seek it somewhere else.
Exactly. Start talking maybe to your dad, the father, or the mother, or the auntie who's always there. And don't be surprised what the auntie will teach the child will be your making because you are not there. You understand?
All right. Okay, now we're going to talk about slightly older children, because we mentioned about children that are 7 years, somewhere there, 5, 6, 7. Now maybe let's get to teenage kids, because with teenage kids, they don't spend as much time with you.
Exactly.
Especially because of the changing world and the gadgets that are available.
Exactly.
They have phones, they have tablets and other things.
Exactly.
So how much free time should you give your children? How much time should you give them unsupervised?
How much time should you give them unsupervised? Giving our older kids, okay? Now, older kids are not difficult to raise because you've been raising them. You've been talking to them. So you know their psychology. It's hard to raise babies. You understand? Older kids, teenagers, are not hard to raise because they understand authority. They understand instructions. So when they're a bit older, the parent must be aggressive, even without saying any word. By looking at that child, they understand how serious you are.
Okay, so aggressive.
Exactly.
You
You see, my daughter understands when I look at her. I don't have to scream or say anything.
Just a look.
I look at her, she gets the message
Okay.
that I must behave myself right now.
I see.
You understand that? And we need to have adult conversations with teenagers. At the age of 13, 12, 10, you must have adult conversations. Because you'll be amazed what your daughter knows. Because you think it's the baby, this is a baby, knows
Because
nothing.
you didn't teach her.
You'll be surprised. And you see, kids are funny. They know that mommy doesn't know me like this. I know these things, but mommy doesn't know that I know this. They know it. So they can act dumb when you're teaching them.
I see.
You see? Because if you say, what, Anna, you know this? They say, no, they'll be, you know what I'm saying? Huh? But they know. So you need to have adult conversations. You teach them certain things about life. You tell them, if you do this, this will happen to you. If you play with a boy, this will happen to you. But I know my daughter can do this. I know my son can do this. Tell them about sicknesses, diseases, infections. Open speech. You just tell the child like that. Like mother to child, like a daughter. You must be very free. You understand that?
That is true.
To tell the child all these things openly. And what about a father? Who should teach a daughter more about men? Is it the mother or the father? It is the father. You see, our culture in Africa tells us that a woman should teach the daughter about men.
Yes.
You see that? But that is wrong. It is a man who should teach the daughter about men.
So our culture is teaching the wrong.
Exactly, the wrong thing.
The wrong thing.
You imagine you are a woman, you are teaching your daughter about a man. How effective is that? Because you're a woman. You can only teach her about a woman.
Maybe teach her based on your experience.
And your experience is not, we can't trust it, because what can happen to you may not happen to another person.
I agree.
You understand? So we need, like myself, I teach my daughter myself. I tell my daughter, don't trust men when they say this. When a boy says this, don't trust them. It's a lie. And sometimes she comes to me, Daddy, you said this, so it means you're lying too. I say, yes. You understand, right?
Yes.
Because I'm a man. So I'm trying to make her understand men.
And how?
So many women are married today because they were taught by their mothers how to respect a man, how to do that. But only a man knows how much of respect he needs. So if I'm going to give my daughter to a man to be married, I should teach my daughter what a man really wants. Not what the mother said the man needs. Maybe what the mother told her, I didn't even enjoy that.
Okay.
You understand, right?
That's a point. That's a point. Raising kids, teenage kids. You spoke about raising kids.
Yeah.
You start imparting in them from the time they are young. You tell them the do's and the don'ts. But then you see there comes a point where they meet people. They meet new friends from schools. Friends that influence your teachings.
That's correct.
So how do you handle a situation where your child does not listen to you anymore? You would tell him or her to do a certain thing, and they'll go
And do the other thing.
the opposite.
Children don't always listen to what we say. They look at what we do. Children won't just listen to what you say. They do what they see. You understand that?
Okay.
They see you as a parent do this and say the other. They will not. When you find a girl child has lost respect for her mother, it is because of what the mother does or say to her friends when she's present. You see, there are mothers, single mothers, okay, who have discussions with friends in the presence of their daughter.
Which is wrong.
Okay? They are carried away. They're talking about men. The daughter's present. She's acting like she's not listening. All the 7 years she's been growing up with you, she's up to 13, 12, or somewhere there, 15, she's been listening. You think she doesn't hear. She's been getting all the things you've been saying. See that? So you're surprised. Doesn't have respect. You say this, she says no. What you've been saying about men. You understand? You destroy this child. She can even tell the friend, my mother was saying this. You see, that it brings us now to another friend. They say your daughter has a friend, and the mother of that friend is not also married. And that mother has been talking nonsense in front of that child who's a friend to your daughter. Now she comes to your daughter and say, my mother was saying this about her boyfriend. She's telling your daughter.
Okay.
The information becomes authentic and strong because she's talking about her mother.
It's true.
See that? Then she believes, we've grown even us now.
So we need to be very careful.
You get a point?
Mothers out there need to be very careful about their conversations in the presence of their children.
It's like you drink beer, you drink wine or beer in front of your daughter. What do you expect your daughter to become? Who start drinking?
Get the glass and enjoy like
exactly. It's the same thing where a woman is screaming at her husband in front of a 7-year-old child, a daughter. What do you expect that child to be when she grows up? She will scream at her husband.
Okay, so now we speak about daughters. We spoke about daughters and we spoke about single parenting. What about a parent, a single mother that has a son, and the son is now a teenager?
It's a good question. No woman can teach a boy. No woman. No single woman can raise a boy successfully. No. That has to be taught. No. If a woman says, I'm going to raise my son, he's going to be a man, he won't be a man raised by you, a single mother. Nope.
So what do you do in such a situation?
He needs a father figure. It's a fact. He needs a father, his own father. If his father died, take him to the uncle or go and get married for his sake, because he will need a man. Believe me, he gets to be 15, you are nothing to him. He can't listen to you. He will lie to you. The level of lying itself, you will believe. He will keep you in the dark from the age of 15 to the day he will die. He will keep you in the dark. You never know anything about him.
So you need,
because he knows that you are a woman. He will take you like a woman. She's just a woman.
so you need to look for a man,
That's a fact.
a father figure.
That's a fact.
So you need to identify not just any man. We need to
identify a father, a parent
figure, a parent.
Who's going to be there. Now, not only a father figure is not just a person who you marry.
Okay.
He can be your friend. He can be your friend, family friend, or a man who knew your husband, your late husband, if he's late, or it can be an uncle. He's a father figure. You see, when a man says a word or is quiet in the house, he's there. Boys don't mess around. He doesn't have to scream or say a word. Boys don't mess around.
Okay, so with talking about passing on, here's a question. Sleepovers, taking your children on holidays. Because when we were younger, we would be taken on holiday. You'd go to your auntie's house for a whole month. You'll go to your uncle's house and you stay there. But this time, this changing time with everything going on, parents are skeptical about taking their children into the relative's home. But then let's talk about the effect that it gives. You keep your children and you do not allow them to go for sleepovers. Maybe you take them for visitation, but then when you die, our culture, we're basing on our culture, your children may be taken to the same relatives that you did not allow them to go to.
Yeah.
So maybe shed us some light on that.
Okay.
How do we work
So
around it?
visitations and sleepovers are not the same things. A child can visit and come back. Can go on holiday to Canada. That's okay. To go and see your brother, for example. Let's say you're married, okay? And then now your brother is in Canada. A child can go on holiday. My daughter wants to go and see my brother, my twin brother, can go and see my twin brother. But sleepovers where she lives in this house, she just decides, Mommy, tonight I'm not coming home. What's going on? Say, I'll be staying with my friend or with my cousin. No.
She asks you for permission.
No. No. You see, when we're guiding children, we don't give them everything they need. Okay? That's a mistake. Even though we can say that there's no harm in this, but we don't just do it. I know that when my daughter, one time I was driving, okay? My daughter asked me to buy something. I said, Daddy, buy me this. I said, no. Not because I didn't have the money. There was nothing wrong with what she asked. Okay? But I wanted to teach her a lesson. I said, no. She kept on telling me, Daddy, please, give me a reason. Why? I said, I just don't want to. Then she became quiet for some time, and I drove, and she said to me, hey, Dad, next time you want to buy that for me, buy it for yourself. You get it?
Yes.
So I knew that, oh, now she's learning. Okay? She's upset now. Okay? So it's like that with children. They may tell you, I want to go on. They'll ask you, Mommy, next week, I want to go and visit my aunt just for a night. You can say no. When you close school, you can go and stay there.
Okay.
Because always suspect them. When they really want to do something by themselves, they want to do it, suspect them. Why? There's someone she wants to go and meet there. Or someone she wants to go and talk to. It's not the auntie's place she wants to go to. Your answer is no.
It's an agenda. What about choosing friends? Choosing the friends that your children should play with or be with. Because you can stop your children to say, I don't want you to play with that one. But then secretly,
They'll go.
they'll go. How do you handle, how do you explain to them the reasons why?
So you should mark their time. And like I said, raising children has a lot to do with good children. If you're going to raise a bad child, you have a lot of work to do. A lot of work. A child must listen to a word from a parent. A good child. Kids where you can defend them. If I tell my daughter this, will not do the other thing. You can even defend them. These are good kids. You see? So, you can choose as a parent who your kids can play with. You can choose. Say, hey, young man, I don't want to see you with that boy. Is that clear? What did I say to you? You said you don't want to see me with that boy. Yeah. You've got anything to say? Say yes. Daddy, tell me why. Explain.
And then rebellious. They don't want to listen. Because everybody, believe me,
you trust in the child. Now that's where now you have to whip children, because whipping children in Africa, it's mandatory. It's mandatory. It's not like in the United States where you can't trust in your own child because the police will come at your door. No. And if you're in the United States and something like this happens, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for others and their laws. But you see, kids, many of the time, they try to frustrate their parents by yelling on top of their voices and crying and screaming. You know, I whipped my daughter since she was born twice. I'm not just saying because I'm on camera, it's the truth. Twice. Okay. The first time, she refused to eat. I misunderstood her. We were baking. She was young. She was about 6 or 5 years. We were baking, and then I said, it's time to eat now. Now, I forgot that we just baked some things she was eating. She refused to eat, and I felt bad. So I got a belt, and I whipped her to eat.
Until she ate?
She started, and now she told me, Daddy, I ate some bakings, remember? Whoops.
Did you apologize?
No.
How do you handle that situation?
No, I didn't apologize immediately.
Because you were wrong.
Yes, I was. But you see, immediately I did not apologize. But after a week,
that's when you apologized.
When she was now with the mother, she went to the mom's place, and then she was telling the mother in my presence, and I apologized right there. Because I don't want to deceive my kid that, no, you were wrong, so I whipped you. No, I apologized to her. The second time, she was wrong.
So that one didn't.
You know what she was doing? She started screaming. Okay? Screaming at my maid. I want mommy. And now, she's not young at this time. She was 10. Meaning she knows what she's doing.
Yes, she can reason.
So I'm driving, getting inside the house. I heard the voice. Is that my baby? What's going on? Mm-hmm. She opened the window. On top, so I could see her. She's on top of the window right there. And she's screaming. So I knew, it's time to whip this girl. You understand that? Mm-hmm. She was crying that she wants the mother. And the mother is far away. And she wants the mother right there. So I knew she needs trouble. It's trouble she's calling. That's the only time I beat my kid. And guess what? She's a good child. If I say this, that's exactly what it is. She doesn't lie. I can defend her. You understand? When someone says, no, she lies, she's lying, I say, no, not my kid. You know she doesn't lie. Because I raised a good child.
Okay. That is very nice.
Thank you.
Proud father.
Thank you.
Who knows he raised a good child.
Yeah. You see, one thing is, when they go out there, they see so many things. Okay, like what I mentioned before, that we're watching a movie. Okay, and then a man and another man were kissing, and my daughter is right there. Awkward situation whereby we didn't expect that.
Yes. Caught you unexpected.
Two men kissing, and my daughter turned, and I'm the one who changed the channel.
But I said, you saw that already.
Let's watch this, and I changed the channel from the kids' channel to something else.
Okay.
Let me see this. Okay. I think it looks like an Indian movie. Indians are good. There's nothing wrong here. I'm surprised at this Indian movie. They're kissing, and then she turned and looked at me.
Yes.
And I was stuck.
Quiet moment.
Because now she wants an explanation what she just saw.
Yes.
As I said, hey kid, these are mad people. They lost their parents and they became mad. That's the only thing I said.
Okay.
Even though she has it in her mind what she saw, what an interpretation, at least she got what I said concerning that situation.
Oh, see.
Our world is changing.
It's changing. It's bad. You see, I too had a similar situation with my children. We were seated and we were watching television, but this one was a song. It was a beautiful love song. Only to see on the altar two men kissing, getting married, and there was a priest standing right there.
Oh no!
It was from that point I said, the media.
I tell you,
is risky. It's not safe. It's not a safe place to be on.
You see that?
Yes, but then another question: media. As we're talking about the media,
yep.
There's the issue of phones. Every child wants to have a phone.
That's a mistake.
What are we going to do about it? And you see, the thing is, especially private schools. Private schools, privileged kids. Their parents will buy them phones, they'll buy them tablets, and they communicate. And then as they're communicating, you're not there to see the text. You're not there to see who they're texting to.
Yeah.
Even if you try to say, let me see, let me monitor who you're talking to, they'll find a way around that. So What happens to the phones?
So you see, also that's a problem, but depending on the country where you are from, or where you are, and how safe that country is, you have no choice but to get a phone for your son or your daughter, because you might lose your child. See that? Mm-hmm. And also it depends what kind of phone are you getting. What restrictions? No, smartphones, no.
Okay.
You cannot give a smartphone to a